You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Sword Art Online After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Sword Art Online After Show.
Hey there, AFTERBUZZ fans! Welcome to this Sword Art Online After Show. I'm your host, Megan Salinas, talking to you here about the world of swords. Joining me on the panel today is Katie Cullen.
Hi, all my buddies.
And we've got Liz. Go ahead.
Liz Rishmawy. Hey, what's up, guys?
And we have Tauri.
Hey, nice to see ya.
Tari's just formerly known as Tauri.
Yes.
That's my last name.
You know,
I'm the
last
only
name's
one with a
too
pronounceable last name.
passe. Miller, guys.
Ethnic
Miller.
backgrounds, high five.
What are you talking about?
Way to go.
What is your last name?
Miller. It's hard to pronounce because, you know, there are like 2 L's in there. There's like an R. It's crazy.
To be fair, Spanish, it would be like Millar. So.
To be
I like
fair,
that
he's
better.
living the high life.
Why does the
Get
ginger
out.
have the really hard to pronounce Arabic last name?
Because you're special.
I am special.
Oh, yay.
Aw.
So we are here to talk about Sword Art Online today. We wanted to have another anime after show to kind of accompany the Attack on Titan one that we do. And what better one than the one that everybody was talking about last year, Sword Art Online. So I've never seen this show before. This is like watching the first episode this time around. This is the first time I've ever seen it. Have you guys all seen it?
No, not until I was introduced to be like, hey, you want to go on this show, Liz? And I'm like, yeah, sure. What? It's on Netflix? Cool. I'm up to like episode 4, but I like it so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Like, I watched the sub when it was a weekly simulcast. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the dub because I love all the actors in it.
Yeah. So what do we think? I mean, I know this is just the first episode, but what do we think of the cast so far?
Well, to be honest, I think I've watched like most of the episodes in the Japanese originally, and then when I rewatched it before I came in today, I watched it in English just because I was like putting on makeup at the same time. And I was like, I can't read at the same time. But no, I really like it. I think you know, I always like to compare to, from the Japanese originals to, you know, what they did. And, you know, Full Metal Alchemist was one of the first ones that I really appreciated, that they
Yes.
kept very similar to what the Japanese voice actors sounded like. And I think they did a good job here.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I haven't watched it in Japanese yet, so right now the English dub is the only version.
Do it. And there's like
everything twice.
Yeah.
there's that one guy listening in right now, like, Megan.
How dare you watch the dub? Subs only. Final destination, no items.
I'm hearing like my 15-year-old self going like, I was such an elitist.
Well, I have a friend who's dyslexic and can't do subs. So,
Well,
reasons, right?
But anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about the episode right now. This is our introduction to the world of Sword Art Online, which is an MMORPG. Sounds very familiar, sounds very similar to kind of the world of Dot Hack.
This is proof that nobody in Japan learned from Dot Hack because we have another one.
But actually, we have the same composer from Dot Hack, Yuki Kajiyuro? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but she, like, I'll be honest, I never watched through Dot Hack all the way, but I absolutely love the soundtrack, and she knows how to do a video game soundtrack perfectly. And you can hear it too. Like, it sounds like music that you would hear in an MMORPG.
yeah, it makes me want to go like base jumping. I get really amped. I'm like, I just, and it's like I either want to go base jumping or I just want to sit down and never move and pig out on ships in front of a screen. It's a mixture of both.
Can I get booth guy?
Hi,
I'm booth guy.
guys.
Hey,
Steven,
buddy, guys.
you.
So I want to give a little bit of background on this show, just because you haven't read the light novel. If people
Thanks for
are
calling us out.
no, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but if people really do enjoy the show, definitely look up online the Sword Art Online light novel. It's all text, maybe a few illustrations thrown in, But it has this series plus the next one and maybe 3 others with side stories and everything thrown in. But the series is written by Reki Kawahara, and it was originally he's a big MMO player. Like he's a big fan of like Final Fantasy XI, World of Warcraft, all of the old style MMOs. So when you read this, you'll really, if you've ever played one of these MMOs, you'll really get that feeling from it. Like he'll reference chocobos, and he'll reference the music, and he'll reference like the scenery and how the gaming dynamics work. So when you're watching the show, it really does play to those feelings you had when you were playing an MMO. So that's kind of a little bit of the backstory on this. It's just a guy who was a fan writing a fan fiction, and literally he just kept going with it, and people just kind of caught on before it became this phenomenon called Sword Art Online.
Why didn't I keep up with my fanfic?
That's the dream. Why? This man is living the dream right now.
Oh yeah.
He found out he got fans, and he just heard. He's all happy.
Twirling a sword, putting it in the sheath.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, I never knew that. So but you can definitely tell, watching this show that, it does come from a love of these types of games. So that's really great. So the episode starts off. We see the official launch of Sword Art Online. We see that people have been standing out in line for days to get this game, which is something that people do.
Right.
It's like okay, it's it's like Black Friday. It's
Pretty much, I was getting Black Friday vibes, and everybody's just so excited to finally get their hands on this game and the necessary nerve gear that you need in order to play it. And we also find out that about 1,000 people have been beta tested it. So that only 1,000 people got access to this game before it was released worldwide. And now that it's been released, we are introduced to our main character, Kirito, who has a sister and a mom. And he,
like most shonen protagonists.
protagonists.
Can I ask though, do we know if it was released worldwide or if it's just Japanese players?
It might just be Japan. I genuinely don't know. All I know is that it's the year 2022.
We'll find out
and the game has officially launched. And so
Because 1,000 beta testers is not a lot for a worldwide release.
Well,
For
it's
Japan, sure, but for
10,000
global-
people. Like 10,000. So I'm thinking maybe only 10,000 in Japan got it so far.
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll get back to you. Tweet us. We'll get
on this. We'll get on this.
Please yell the correct answers in caps locks as many times as you possibly can. Because
exclamation
this is the
marks.
internet, and eventually we'll get the point.
I want exclamation mark 1111 ONE.
Yes. Exactly like that.
Otherwise, we just won't get it.
And in the form of a question.
But anyway, so we see everybody logging into this game with their avatars, and we see that it's essentially what the world is kind of like a floating tower in the sky.
It reminded me of so many. Oh God, help me! Miyazaki films. Like
Yes.
it was like a mixture of like my favorite MMO are. I bit too many M's.
No, that was the kind of
MMORPGs with like castle in the sky, Miyazaki style. Like I wanted Totoro to just go flying by, something like that. But the artwork's amazing.
I would play a
Dragon
Totoro
from
in an
Spirited
MMO.
Away.
Yes.
Aw.
But no, the artwork is like really enjoyable for me. Like you have to understand how excited I am because I haven't gotten into any new anime in like so many years. Like I feel like such a noob. So like just watching this is making like really happy because it's all that nostalgia, you know?
That's how I feel too. Like with the exception of this show and like Attack on Titan, I've been so out of the loop. And so it's great to sort of like come back into it and just see beautiful artwork and hear beautiful music and everything like that. So it's really great.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we see the castle in the sky and we get introduced to somebody who's having a little bit of trouble navigating the world. His name is Klein. He flags down Kirito.
Bro! Hey, bro! And he says it bro in both the Japanese and the English version, so I'm just so happy they get bro! Like I wanted him to like run up with like an upside down visor. Bro!
Oh my God, it's the Hawkeye villains.
Bro.
You come to the wrong neighborhood, bro.
Yeah, you want to help a bro out, man?
I wanted him to turn around. He's like, you must be, one of the beta testers because you're just like running in there. And he could have been like, nah, man, I'm just trying to figure out the controls. I can't stop running. I should have just done that, got rid of him. End of episode 1.
That's why he's running at the end. He just can't figure it out.
I can't figure out the controls.
How do I stop?
It's the end of the series.
He just keeps running.
Off the edge of the tower, and we're done.
He pulls a Forrest Gump and he runs to the end of the world and just has to turn around.
I just kept running, and then I turned around and ran back. Anywho,
Run, Kirito, run.
we're gonna make the half hours podcast really fun, guys.
Yeah.
Stick with it.
But so Klein asks for a little bit of assistance, and I would be Klein in this scenario. He needs help killing the boars. He needs help figuring out the controls, and he needs help, basically just kind of figuring everything out because he's so excited to be a part of this game, but he doesn't know what he's doing.
He did say that this was the first time he's ever played, because apparently, from what Kiriko says, Kirito, whatever.
That guy.
What he says is, oh, this is the first time you've ever played one of these games with the interface. Like he made it seem like there have been other opportunities to play games with this sort of technology, and Klein's like, nope, saved up the money. I'm a Po kid. I had to save up the money, and then I got it all just to play Sword Art Online.
And that's a very interesting concept, too. The concept of the nerve gear, the fact that you can, kind of put on this gear and that it will disable your motor function. So you're not up and running around, but so that you can... that it can simulate actual movement in the world of Sword Art Online. And that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Nobody in this world learned from Dot Hack.
Well, I feel like at some round of testing, someone's organs had to have stopped working.
Oh, yeah. It's like in 8 years
yeah.
from now, right?
2022.
Yeah.
So
I didn't ask. It's not helping me with math, though. 2014.
Yes,
it's
8
years.
years. So, yeah, I figure, I can totally see people doing something stupid like that. Like, let's hook up this thing, stop your motor functions. Is this a microwave? Yeah, don't worry about it.
I would totally do it in a heartbeat.
No, I probably
And
would
you
too.
would be one of the people stuck in the
I'm
game.
just saying.
I actually told someone, I was like, somebody should make this and do it in real life, except people don't actually die, they just fake it like they do.
Right.
So the people in the game can live their thing in the game and then realize that nobody actually died, but they still get that experience.
Oh, that's nice.
I feel like that's the worst idea ever.
It's like a
Of all
prank
time.
that's like horrifying.
Maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is all a prank.
I mean, you don't know at this point.
That's
true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I certainly don't know. I'm sure other people have a better idea. But anyway, so Klein and Kirito bond over the learned ability to kill boars, which is kind of funny because it does kind of function as like a tutorial for this episode, and you kind of find out that for one, this world doesn't have any magic.
Which is,
Yeah.
I think, a great concept.
Yeah, and it's a weird decision for an MMO. But no magic, but you can learn an unlimited number of skills. And, something interesting, in terms of the attack, you just kind of charge up, and then, like, kind of the more you charge, the stronger the attack is.
I just heard,
My favorite part about the skills is that they're not just like sword skills. It's like you could become, I don't know, a nurse or a blacksmith, or you could become a farmer. Like,
Well, not jumping too ahead, because like I said, I did get up to, I think, episode 4, but you do start to see exactly what kind of different skills that you can learn, it's really cool. It's like a totally different concept than I've seen most games like really like pick up on, so or anime for that matter. So
That's good, because a lot of times you sort of have your stock characters of like mage characters, like you're gonna be the healer, and then you have an archer, you have like you have the swordsmith and everything.
I lost
like
a
that.
friend to World of Warcraft once for like 3 months. It's like I gotta level up. I found like a purple weapon, and I have to level up my Draenei. And I'm like, I miss you. I don't know what you just, I don't know anything you just said, but I miss you.
Have any of you played World of Warcraft or any other like big MMOs?
I kept walking into a tree. Remember that whole concept of Kirito just keep running because they can't figure out the controls? That was me.
Ironically, out of all of you, I've played probably 6 years on Final Fantasy XI.
Nice.
That was my weight gaining masterpiece.
I was just about to make a comment.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one who sat in front of one of these things, and he's the most fit of all of us.
No, seriously, like it takes over your life.
Yeah.
It really does, and then you kind of have to wean yourself off of it. But like, you still have moments where you look back and you're like, you meet some people, you interact with so many people that it is. I mean, you do have good memories of doing it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at the
it
same,
is a
that's why
social thing these
this
days.
is
And you look in a mirror and you're like, oh, what did I do?
And that is why I have never started. Tumblr is bad enough.
Not anymore, but
Gotta do like crunches and like butt lifts or something while you're like, I don't know.
Well, the only experience with World of Warcraft was I was over at my friend's and she said, "Oh, you can totally play for a second," because she had to leave the room for something. She's like, "Go ahead, take a whack at it." And
account
somehow,
deleted.
I should have done
May
that.
as well have.
that would have been terrible. But like basically within like the 5 minutes that she was gone, I somehow got her character trapped in a crevice on a mountain, and I had no way of figuring out how to get it out.
Leroy Jenkins!
And so yeah, she comes back and she just looks at me. She's like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "I don't know."
You said take a whack at it. I don't know.
So
But you're some
basically, in this scenario, I would be Klein. I would be the poor schmo who needs all the help he can get.
You wouldn't have bought the headgear in the first place.
Probably
In this
not.
scenario, you'd be the guy at home.
So Klein buys a pizza and can't get his pizza.
Yeah, so Klein has a
Mayo
pizza
and
coming, he's
teriyaki
got-
sounds disgusting.
It
by the
really
way.
does. That sounds like the worst pizza ever.
I'm
But he's got a
intrigued.
pizza. He's got to
I'd try
go.
it.
He goes to log out, and all of a sudden he can't log out. The log out button it's just blank. And so the
Nice.
Your laugh is amazing. I want to put it in a jar.
I'm going to be the next Maleficent.
that's a high bar. Careful.
I am aware. I have goals.
Many have tried, many more have failed. Anyway, I think I got to check my math on that. Anyway, so
8
anyway,
plus 14.
but anyway, back to this. So we're trying to log out and there's nothing there. And Klein's like, "Oh, okay, just take the gear off." Well, no, you can't because your motor functions have been
It
disabled.
was really fun
This
watching.
sounds like a
Friday.
nasty plot.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden they get teleported to the Courtyard Plaza, I believe, where the real opening ceremony has begun.
Yep.
And we see that everybody who's playing the game right now has been teleported here as well, when all of a sudden something appears out of the sky. It was really creepy too, because it like started bleeding and like congealing together. It was really gross looking.
Congealing. That's a great word. That's exactly what it was.
And what is this weird thing in the sky? Why, it's Kayaba Akihiko, the creator of the game.
What were they calling it though? Was it was a boss?
The Game Master?
The
Game master.
Game
Yeah.
master.
So it's a type of game master. He's the game master.
It's like the
He's-
game moderator.
He
Basically.
is the game master, where basically, I've got to say, this is the first time I've seen a villain of a series come out and literally tell everybody, "Hey guys, I did this thing. You want to know why I did it? I did it because I have a god complex.
Basically.
Best of luck."
That's what you get for making fun of me for all those years. This is what you get. This is what you get.
Notably, the people he wanted to revenge on for making fun of him aren't playing the game.
Probably not.
Looks like they're
Probably not.
children.
But
Just to
but yeah,
clarify, you don't know why he's doing this. He does not tell you why he's doing
He only
this.
Right.
specifies that he does say, I remember, and again, it was both in the English and both in the Japanese. It's something along the same lines of, I created a world that I wanted to basically control.
So yeah,
So
it
that's
was,
all we know
I
so
have a
far.
god complex.
Right.
Long and short. But before he disappears, he basically tells them, "Look, in addition to you being stuck here and unable to log out, if your family members try to pull off the nerve gear,
Like the 213 people who have already tried.
your brain will be fried by the microwave."
Like the
within-
213 people who have tried it are now
Which
dead.
was basically, I just killed 213 people.
Yeah.
And if you die in the game, we've seen this concept before. If you die in the game, if your health points reach 0, you die for real. And there are no Phoenix Downs in this game, as far as I know. So basically, yeah, it's game over, man. Game over.
Can we just point out,
missed it,
though,
sorry.
because I know we're going to get up to the part where he gives everybody a special item, but I just want to point out, going back in the beginning of the episode where you see all of the characters and people meeting up in the plaza, and that one guy hitting on this girl like, "I don't know if I should join your party." And then flash forwarding to now what we're talking about so he gives everybody this mirror. He's like, so this is what's happening. You're stuck. You're all on level 1. There's 100 floors, and you have to make it to the very end in order to get out. Otherwise, you're screwed. So he gives everybody this mirror, which can shows them
Their true
selves,
Yeah.
which again is an interesting concept because ever since I guess they haven't been able to switch back, or no one's just chosen to switch back to their avatars.
They're unable to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a.
Which
They're
sucks.
unable to.
Which sucks for that guy because speaking of the girl, they're on the edge. You're a guy? You're not 17. And he's just like in this dress, and I'm like, is he stuck in the dress? I don't think he is.
Well, it's funny because after he disappears, and it's just sinking in the realization of what this really means.
Yeah.
You just you get reaction shots from different people in the crowd, and you see lots of guys in dresses.
What I'm laughing at is like the concept of just like. I feel like, some people would have been like, okay, well, it's not that bad. I can do it. And then they revert back. They're like, but I'm ugly. I can't know. It's not like the same.
There's no rascal scooter in Aincrad.
And that's the thing, too, because what was Klein saying? He's like, well, how did they get the height, And he's like, well, you had to, like, hug yourself to, like, feel your body.
For like, calibration on the the and now we see
I would have
exactly
been sucking it in. I'd been like, it's bigger here. Yeah. I wouldn't have known that was going to happen, but I was like, well, if you need to calibrate me, you're going to remember me in the way I want you to remember me. Like I'm wearing permanent Spanx.
That's probably the
Just
best way to
imagine
go
you,
about
like,
it.
a month ahead being like, all right, I got to work out. I'm going to lift for like 6 weeks
No,
and
I said
super
Spanx.
ripped. I don't know what those are.
See, the only guy on the panel.
Spanx is that thing that is going to totally ruin up your perception of women when you take a girl home from the bar and you realize how many layers of clothing she has to peel off, and you're like, you did not look like that when I picked you up.
Lies. It's all lies.
They call it shapewear for a reason.
It's kind of like it's like stockings for your stomach, just in the midsection. Would you ever wonder if a girl's ever sitting like this?
So anyway,
This is relevant plot.
that's my off-topic button. I just say so anyway.
You've all learned something today.
So
God help you.
While everybody in the crowd is, starting to panic with the realization of, oh my gosh, this is real and people are dead now.
Now one girl was like crying.
I'd probably cry too. You hear people yelling like, I've got a meeting after this. Like, I've got stuff to do.
And we did see some, and again, just kind of foreshadowing, as no one saw the future episodes, there are some characters in the crowd that we do see that do come into play in a future episode.
Yeah,
which is
so
very fun.
we will be seeing some familiar faces in the future. Yes. And so what happens is Kirito grabs Klein and they run out and he's like, look, we can make it to the next village. Everybody here, all the resources, the experience points and the money that we can earn, all that stuff is a limited resource now. So everything around here in the general area is going to be picked dry. We can make it to the next town. I know the best way to get there, having been a beta tester. He made it to the 4th floor. So he's like, I know. Did he make it to the 8th floor? I thought it was the 4th floor. Okay. Yeah,
We're still in the single digits. It's not good.
Okay, but he's made it up a couple floors. And so like he's like, look, the best thing for us to do right now is get ahead, and that's the best way, the only way we're going to survive is if we're strong. And like we're both level 1 right now. The best thing we can do is move on to the next town.
And apparently I'm like I said, I haven't played many MMO RPGs, but he said that the money and the points and the items are limited. Like
exactly.
Once they're taken by certain bosses and stuff, it's not like they're going to reappear for new characters. Apparently, once it's done, and the said money and experience points and items will not be able to be shown again for those other people. Which again, I thought was a very interesting concept because it's not like everybody can just I'm going to go back and beat that same guy.
No,
again.
it's more like things respawn, but at the same time, there are certain things that don't, and it's also that when you have 10,000 people in the starting area, and they're all trying to go at the same time to level up, Kirito is saying he wants to go to the next town so they can level up and actually not have to fight for getting monsters to get the experience. It's going to be over-farmed.
But he did say that there was also only a limited amount of certain items that would only appear once, and once they're gone, they're taken.
Yeah, the quests and things like that.
Yeah.
Do those.
So
exactly.
That was
and
fun.
so that's very interesting that everybody's kind of on an equal playing field. But yeah, that they're again. Resources are limited, and this is our best option. Not to mention that people are probably just losing their minds right now, and it's probably going to be very dangerous. Again, if you die in the game, you die for real. But Klein, he's like, look, my buddies who I was going to hang out with afterwards, the people that I stood in line with, like, they need help and they're still in the plaza. I can't leave them because they're just as clueless as me.
Yeah.
And
Kirito's like, oh God, people. Like, just this social. I mean, even when and we skipped this mentioning this when Klein was like, hey, I'm gonna eat this pizza and then I'm gonna meet up with these friends that I stood in line with, and he's like,
social activity,
and he's just like, no. So already we're already establishing that this guy's going to be the lone Bishonen.
Well, and we also, once everybody's true selves are revealed, we see that Kirito's a kid.
Yes.
Do we know how old he is? He looks to be like maybe 12, maybe 14?
I'd say like
Around there.
14.
Okay, because he's a lot shorter than his avatar.
I think when the series starts, he's 15.
Okay, he's a very baby-faced 15-year-old
Tiny little
then.
15-year-old.
He's a Japanese main character.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on.
Yep, he's a shonen protagonist. You
Anyway.
can only be between these ages and these heights.
So Kirito, who clearly has some social anxiety issues, is like, if it was just Klein, this could work. But 2 people, 3 people, like this is starting to be a problem.
I also think, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but
Oh, no,
I
go
also think that it wasn't just this social anxiety of it, but I think it was like, it's enough that there's going to be one person tagging along to get all these experience points and the items, but like one other person or even 2, just because I feel like he would have he would feel that he has a responsibility for them, and it was just too much.
Well, he doesn't know them, and this is a life and death scenario, and these are people who are inexperienced, so it's people who are honestly going to be dead weight in terms of getting to the next town.
Exactly.
It's that he's running through places that have monsters higher level than them, and in MMOs, there's a thing called aggro, which is like the range of an enemy attacking you and going after you. So, like, if somebody knows the area, they can go to the spots and they can avoid the monsters and avoid them some way.
But there's a big group.
But when there's a big group, there's like even in Final Fantasy 14, when you have 18 people and you're trying to slip past a monster, you can get like 10 people past, but then it'll turn a certain way, and then immediately you're kind of screwed there if everyone doesn't move as one. So it's kind of like that.
Presents a huge problem for a group of really inexperienced people in this game for the first time, now with the stakes being life and death. Yes. So basically it ends with Klein going, look, I'm not going to ask you to stick your neck out for a bunch of people you don't know, but go on, do your thing, we're cool.
I like
it's
how
okay.
he's like, message me. I love that they still have that. Like, you could just IM somebody like, I'm dying! And just like, like, help, tell my mom I said...
Tell my mom I said explosion. Well, those are some fun last words.
Yeah, that's how you spell that.
Lots of B's and J's and F's.
Exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
But yeah,
mom.
so they basically, and it's sad that, they didn't really get much of a chance to bond before, the ball was dropped and, everything like that. But Kirito now has an ally of sorts that he knows he can contact and who can contact him, even if he is kind of going the lone wolf route right now. Yes. And that's where we end this episode, with him running down the path to the next town, going, making a declaration that no matter what, this world is not going to beat me. I'm going to survive.
So 2 points here.
Breaking the microphone.
1, they're not on an even playing field. If all of the beta testers are in there, they know all of this stuff. So they're still a jump ahead of the people who stood in line and bought it for the first time. 2, what's to stop people from killing other people to get these limited resources?
There's nothing stopping them.
Exactly.
And 3,
this is going to become Lord of the Flies up in here.
just pointing out too, the thing that is interesting though, to me, is that they can't feel anything, and I wonder to what they can't feel pain. So I wonder if there's any other actual.
I was wondering if that
points.
changed actually, if because they couldn't feel pain before they were stuck, and I was wondering, is that still true? Like, now that their true selves have been revealed,
but they just realized that they were
All
stuck.
your questions will be revealed.
And that's another thing. How do you eat in this world? Because the food that you eat in Sword Art Online, it doesn't actually sustain
Nourish
you.
you.
It's not like a Matrix thing where you're plugged into the Matrix and they're feeding you because you're in these little pods and everything.
Steven,
Like that.
I think I can tell you that. It's not really a spoiler. It's I think they mentioned it in next episode or something. Honestly, they talk about how a bunch of people go offline for like a few hours and then they come back online, it's because everyone's been notified that they are stuck in the game. And they're taken to hospitals and they're taken to places to be
to
lined
be hooked up to IVs and everything like that.
I think it's not really a spoiler. They just really they go over it really quickly in the anime.
I don't remember that even, and like I said, I already passed that episode. So good thing you mentioned it.
It makes sense because otherwise this whole little experiment that Akihiko has going on wouldn't last very long.
It would end in a week because that's how long the human body can last without water.
Yeah. So anyway,
don't ask how I know.
We do get one little other tidbit. After the credits for this episode, within a month, 2,000 people are dead.
Yay!
Noobs.
That would be me.
Well, I'd have to wonder how many of those people were individuals essentially killing themselves to see if it was actually true.
And how many of them were getting killed by other people for their
they
supplies?
They showed the news articles in this episode. Like he put up all the news agencies to show that it's actually true.
But I feel
media frenzy,
But I feel like that was just more to show them, like, so look, like your family. He said this is to show you that these people have died because their family members have tried to unhook them from their things. Not that anybody tried to actually kill themselves in the game. But
but this is to show that if the nerve gear is removed, you will die.
And now
you wouldn't exactly know if it worked or not because you'd kind of be dead.
But just so you know, he's like, that's why he's like, so hopefully this will offer you some sort of peace of mind that at least your family members by now should know.
It's probably
they shouldn't do that.
Probably going to be safe.
Yeah,
because there's round the clock media coverage. But yeah, he knew that going in, people were going to get killed right off the bat. Yep. So he's a terrible human being.
How has the real life media / police not caught this guy already?
Yeah, I'm wondering where he's
how long
hiding.
Is it going to take Anonymous to figure out who this guy is and take him down?
Well, he said who he is. He's Akihiko Kayaba. He's the creator of the game. Yeah.
You will find that out at the end of the season.
Oh, great.
All your questions will be answered.
All your questions will be answered.
Anyway, we should probably wrap it up tonight. Any final thoughts on this first episode?
I feel like I'm cheating asking anything. Someone else go first.
All right. I guess that's it.
I already gave my final thoughts about people killing each other. So
I feel like great. I can't wait to see other characters and stuff.
Thanks, Steven. Yay!
Play him off.
Once again, my name is Megan Salinas.
Where can people find you?
On Twitter at The Menguin. That's TheMenguin. Oh my gosh, I misspelled my own Twitter handle. Everybody.
I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter and Tumblr at Kiaxet, Kiaxet, and rate us on iTunes. We're awesome, and you should tell iTunes that.
Tell everyone.
Slap us with a 5-star rating.
5 stars.
Not literally.
On the street, 5-star.
If you like what we're doing, so yeah.
And my name is Liz Rishmawy. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at Lizzie Maui, LIZZYMAWY.
And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can catch me on Twitter at Tauri J. That's TAURIJAY.
How do you pronounce
See you guys next week.
Mier.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.